Underwood. Thin ice. To smoke some weed and shut up. My God.
Oh, I thought for sure. There it is. Boom! Yes!
I'm here. I botched that intro unbelievably.
When have you
so
ever had a
botched.
good intro?
No, what I'm saying is I didn't have myself on the screen whenever the intro video ended.
Oh.
That was a disaster. Anyway, Illinois won, and you know what? I'm not sure I would have done this if they would have lost because I feel like I would have blown
Really?
my...
You said that's the only way that you would have.
Yeah,
done
but
it. And now we're doing it because they won.
I would have blown people's eardrums off because I would have been insane about the officiating, which it was still like, oh my God. I mean,
it was bad both ways. So
it was, but 47 foul calls. I mean, come on. We got to make as a collective of people that enjoy college basketball, we have to make our game more watchable, especially when it's on national TV. Like we cannot have every possession ended a foul call.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's Illinois or if that's the Big Ten refs officiating and such, but did Illinois make a three in the second half?
They did not. No, 0 for 8.
Yikes.
0 for 8. I mean, they started, 4 for 5 from 3?
Yeah, it was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they start 4 for 5, and then they finish 1 for 19. Or no, that's the wrong number.
That's
1 for 15.
Good job.
1 for 15. Still bad. Just going through some comments here real quick here from the folks. Jeffrey is painful to watch. Never could put them away. Yeah, I mean, I think we have to disregard Maryland's record, especially when I think they match up so well against Illinois. And I think winning this game I don't care how they would have won it as long as they win it.
Right. Yeah. You worry about Illinois closing down the stretch, and it wasn't pretty, but Terrence Shannon, I think, became the alpha tonight. He was pretty pissed off when Damask wouldn't get him the ball in that last possession where he got fouled going to the basket. Willard not fouling down 4. Were they down 4? It's insane. Shannon gets to the basket, gets a foul drawn. Damask with 12 rebounds.
One big play. We look like we might be heading for another Michigan State finish because they had 5 minutes without a field goal. Then Damask goes to the rim and scores. That was a big one there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Damask had a really good game, especially after getting drilled in the face a couple times in the first
Twice.
half.
Yeah. I think the breakaway that he took on the full court press into I think Guerrier pass was a huge play for Illinois late in the game. He got disrupted once or twice. I would say twice. Got the 10-second call, and then he got the 5-second call against him. But that's more Brad.
The 10-second call, nobody was helping him. He was on an island.
Yeah, and the 10-second call is weird because it probably should have been a jump ball.
It was a simultaneous. I didn't see the replay, but it was close.
Yeah, it looked like the other ref was going to call a foul or a jump ball. The ref closest called a 10-second call. I don't know.
I mean, Illinois won this game because of free throws, essentially. Making 32 out of 36 is something. When was the last time Illinois did that? And Maryland, I think was from the free throw line, Jameer Young and Julian Reese go 17 for 18.
Yeah.
Which is, and then you add in Dante Scott and they go 23 for 25.
Great foul by Coleman, by the way. I think that's the one that Reese missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Would have been an easy 2. That was a great foul by Hawkins. Hayden says Goody's got to sit. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, this was Luke Goody. I think all you need to know is look at the stat line. He goes, he plays 9 minutes. Hang on. Trying to line it up here. Did he play 9 minutes? Yeah, it feels right.
I don't know. I don't have 9 minutes on mine.
9 minutes.
Can't see.
He had 4 fouls. I got the official box score.
Oh, print it out. Look at you.
9. Oh, I like to do it for these types of things. 9 minutes, 4 fouls, minus 11, 0 for 1 from the field, which was a 3, and 0 points. I mean, this was
wide open 3 in the corner. That's the shot Goody has to make. I mean, that's why he's on the court, right?
Yeah, we've been trending in this direction with Goody for the last 4 or 5 games. I just think today was the lowest that it's ever going to be.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that, like I chastised Goody with the and ones against Michigan State, but Ty did the same thing tonight. It seemed like he had a few there late in the game that were kind of crucial, but
this felt like a bad Ty game. He was a plus 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it didn't seem like he was great. I don't know about bad, but
it just felt like everybody was criticizing Goody, and then the next guy that everybody was going after on Twitter was Ty. I think Ty had some tough moments, but I mean, everybody had a ton of fouls. Illinois didn't rebound very much in this game, probably because of the just lack of toughness on some of those plays. I think that needs to be cleaned up. I mean, they got out rebounded 14-5 on the offensive glass.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see another game this season where you have Damask with 3 fouls, Guerrier with 3 fouls, Rogers and Hawkins with 4, Harmon with 3, Goody with 4.
And that's the thing about the Big Ten refs, man. I mean, they let them hammer on each other the first half, and then the second half, you want to blow the whistle every time down the court. Like, you got to have a 50-50 there. Come on.
It was a Courtney Green. It was a Courtney Green Kelly Pfeiffer game. That's really all I need to know.
I was yelling at Kelly the whole time. My wife would tell you. Harmon's basket was huge too. Yeah. Harmon patented move. Maybe should have been an and one. I think he had two big baskets in this game. Right? At the rim.
Yeah, that's why he's playing 26 minutes.
Yeah. What was the lineup? Guerrier, Hawkins, Damask, Shannon, Harmon. I think it's a lineup we haven't seen a whole lot of because Goody usually gets thrown out there in that. I think that's what closed out the game for them. I'd rather see that than Luke Goody over Ty Rogers for sure. I mean, you've said it a lot. Ty Harmon and Goody can't play at the same time.
No, that was that it got ugly. Illinois was leading pretty much the whole game until you saw like an extended sequence with those two on the floor together, and it's just completely they're just not they're unplayable together. And Harmon, he's made a lot of big shots down the stretch. He had that one at Northwestern. That's kind of why he's in. Obviously, he's a threat to shoot it. And I think there's there's more ways to score from Harmon as opposed to Goody. So you take away some of the length that Goody has and you replace it with Harmon, especially if you're not going to have Ty out there, which, still don't really know what they're going to do in an actual, like a tournament game, how they're going to try to close.
And that's I think Ty was out because of foul trouble more in this game than anything else. I don't think it was his play necessarily. Eric says, hey guys, good win, good defense at the end of the game. Nice team effort. Feels good to beat Maryland. Absolutely. Quackle, what's going on? Besides the Michigan game, I feel like the last 6 games have felt this way.
I mean, if you mean them scoring a ton of points and not being as good defensively as we expect, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the Northwestern game, that's a really hard environment. Shannon was not himself yet. Northwestern made a ton of shots down the stretch. The Indiana game was just ugly. The Illinois that was the low point of not being able to make any shots at home. And the Ohio State game I thought was great. So I would also throw that one next to the Michigan one. The Nebraska game, up 10, 3 minutes to go, that was disgusting. They still won the game, but not great. And then, the Michigan State game, tough. But I think this team, Illini fans are maybe a little, are we being too negative? So they've won 5 of 6, and 2 of those games were on
I
the
think
road.
Are people being negative right now? Did I miss something?
Like it feels like it feels like the last 6 games have felt that way. I don't know. I
feel you.
Maybe some of the closing minute stuff is not great, but I mean they're 10-4 in the Big Ten. I feel like we should. I mean their offense, by the way, is up to number 4 in efficiency in the country. Their offense went up 2 from 6 to 4. The defense dropped from 40 to 47. So,
ouch.
Which I don't really understand because Maryland in this game shot 48% from 2 and 22% from 3, and we're only 1.14 points per possession is not bad, but like free throws, 24 free throws.
Right. Yeah.
It's tough.
Bootzilla says Ty was out of position multiple times. Yeah, that's
True.
what Goody was kind of doing. And so us, complaining that Ty should have been in instead of Goody against Michigan State, maybe unwarranted at this point.
A lot of positives from Ty in this game, though. Outside of some of the defensive stuff, 2 offensive rebounds, 5 total, 2 assists, 4 points, 1 of 1 from the field, made both free throws again, and obviously a plus 20. When nobody, the highest number plus minus besides Ty was Shannon plus 9, Damask was plus 3, Gary minus 3, Hawkins plus 4, Harmon plus 2, Goody minus 11, and then Hansberry 0, and then Danger plus 1. So no other guards playing either, like no DGL minutes, which makes a lot of sense. How'd you feel about the post trap?
That was good. I think it's something Illinois needed to do. I don't know why they stopped hedging Young. They did it towards the end of the first half, and then they stopped doing it in the second half.
There was a stretch in the first half where they kept losing Jameer Young, and he had like 11 straight points, which I think is what made people say stop doubling the post. Which, I mean, if you can win a game where Jameer Young has 28 and Reese has 18 and Scott has 17. If you can win that game, that's a good thing.
Young took 23 shots. And how many of those did he try to bait a foul on? That's why he missed so many.
Yeah.
So, Eric says Goody's been struggling right now. His shot is not falling, so it may be hurting his confidence a little bit. That's fair. I mean, I still like Goody's aggressiveness. Like he went after he got back-to-back fouls, kind of gifted Maryland 4 points. But he was going after rebounds on at least one of them. I don't know what he did on the other one. So
if we pretend like the Nebraska game never happened, Goody's shooting 33% in the last 3 games from 3. So it's not horrible, but like I said, the Nebraska game would make it
maybe check
quick
it.
Math.
I gotta go check my pizza. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. 20% if you put the Nebraska games, so it'd be 20% in the last 4. I mean, Quackle, you could be negative, of course. I'm just saying I feel like we need to all just think, okay. I mean, the Ohio State game was also a game where they played well, and I know Ohio State's bad, but I think they've played more good basketball than bad basketball in the last 6. I mean, they are 5-1 in the last 6 since the Northwestern game. So, just saying, let's have some fun with the fact that this team's 10-4. And guess what? Wisconsin loses again, so Illinois should feel pretty good about where they're at in terms of the Big Ten standings, in a good position to get that 2 seed in the tournament. They're 2 games behind Purdue. Purdue plays Ohio State tomorrow. Purdue has Ohio State, Rutgers, Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, Wisconsin. So Purdue could be 26-2 going into the Michigan State game they play at home on March 2nd. But either way, only 2 games behind them. So Wisconsin now 9-6. So Illinois got 2.5, or I guess that'd be 1.5 on them. One in the win column, 2 in the loss. So yeah, that'd be 1.5, right? Yeah, I think I did that math correctly. But yeah, where are we at here? Why do we go over screens and handoffs when we are so far behind? They don't want to switch. You're muted.
Because Brad doesn't want teams making threes on him. And if you go under the screens, you're going to make threes. A game without stops all the time, we would wear them down. Nobody has this deep of a bench. behind as in the offensive, not the score. I don't know what Jay says giving up 80 to Maryland, ? Go offense. Don't think the team will win by defense.
24 free throws. Maryland did what they do, which is go 4 for 18 from 3. I mean, think about this defensively. Let's think about this number right here. Julian Reese and Jameer Young were 12 for 34 from the field in this game. Yeah, okay, that was the wrong math. Julian Reese and Jameer Young were 14 for 31 from the field in this game. So really not that bad if you put it that way. I read the wrong number there.
Yeah, I mean, you let those guys score 20 and 18. Dante Scott tried to kill you with the 3 down the stretch. Yeah, you sneak. I don't know. Like, you're on the road. You're at Maryland, full house. You
Is it crazy to think the defense was kind of good in this game?
I don't think it was terrible.
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't. Free throws are a big factor.
Yeah,
and the offensive glass.
It was that bad. Yeah. I mean, you take away half their free throws. That's 12. They scored 68 points.
They had 44 in the paint, 12 off of turnovers, 17 second chance. So limit some of that. If you're better on the defensive glass, I don't think Maryland touches 80.
Wesley's got a good point. Scoring 85 at third place, and Maryland is a top 5 defense.
32 free throws, but yes, Illinois offensively, I mean, they shot 50% from the field in the first half, 46 in the second half, so 48%. That's way better than the first game. Threes were not falling, even though they were falling early, which I think if you can go 0 for 8 from 3 with the way this Illinois team is built, you go 0 for 8 from 3 in the second half against the top 5 defense, and you win the game, we got to take it. I mean, there's no crime of being 10-4 in the Big Ten and not making it look pretty every time.
Yeah. I mean, 10-4, you're 2 games out of having to be in that, not get that double bye. I think Illinois is in a good spot right now. Embrat says Harmon blocked out Reese on the Hawkins over the head backwards and got Hawkins the ball. I don't remember that play, but Jeffrey says, let's be honest, we all have our doubts or lack of confidence from what we've seen the last 7 games.
Mind you, folks, Illinois is 5-2 in their last 7.
I mean, there's no doubt that you worry about Illinois closing games, but I don't think you can complain when they close a game and they win. Like, I'm not going to jump on that boat where Illinois can't close games. I mean, close games happen. I think Brad had the right lineup in this time and took care of business.
The 2 losses in the last 7, by the way, were at Northwestern, where you lost in overtime, and then at Michigan State, where you just played really poorly in the final 8 minutes, but you were up 8.
I gave up 9 out of 10 baskets with Goody in most of those. So
it is much better to close game or learn how to close games by maybe losing a game that you should have closed and learning different ways and what works. Because if Illinois was just dominating everybody all the way to up until now and not closing games or not having to close games as much, I don't know what it looks like when you're in a tournament game and you have to close a game. I mean, you need to learn how to close games. And I think Brad's learned that, okay, we can't have Luke Goody in late in games if he's not going to make any shots, especially when Harmon makes some shots down the stretch. I think that's a big part of this. Doug Heffernan, Dougie, from the hit television series King of Queens, which, by the way, I was watching the King of Queens a long time ago, and I always thought, like, why does this show not get the proper respect? It finally goes to streaming, goes on Peacock, because I have the box set DVD, not a big deal. It finally goes to streaming on Peacock, and everyone's like, oh, the King of Queens is so great. So it's weird how that works. Like, I was talking about that show being good before anybody. Anyway, Doug says need to get Q going. Doug Heffernan, of course, IPS driver, Queens, New York. I mean, Quincy Guerrier, I thought had a couple good looks from 3 that he missed. He was 1 for 4 from 3, 9 points, only 1 rebound, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Wasn't a great game, only 20 minutes.
Not great, not bad, though.
Yeah.
Bootzilla says Hansberry played a minute. When did that happen? End of the first half when Hawkins got his second.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Hansberry. I had a buddy text me and say, "Who's this Hansberry guy?" And I said, "You guys know that I do a podcast for this team, right?"
He's from Maryland.
Yeah, he had family there. Yep. Hawkins needs to be better on traps. I think the team as a whole could be better on traps. They were really like Damask Booty Ball got trapped every time, it seemed like. I mean, if Illinois hits some threes in the second half, they win this game by 15.
I mean, it was going to be so annoying to get swept by a team that Illinois is so clearly better than.
Right.
And can we before we continue the comments, can we discuss this Willard shit from the first half? I mean, Oh my God, how is that even like?
How's that not a technical? How can you be on the court? He was clearly on the court. Can you not look at that? Can the refs not look at that and see that he was on the court?
All right, let me play it here. We've seen so many coaches.
Insane. It's actually insane.
We've seen so many coaches on the court, and they either get teed up eventually or they don't at all. And how he doesn't get teed up here is insane. He's also pointing at our player. I don't like that. Okay, so this is obviously taken off my phone. Just terrible video. But so, I mean, he points at Shannon and then tries to laugh. It's like, okay.
I think they were going back.
I think they were, but
I think Shannon was.
Yeah, but still.
I think Shannon kind of started that jokingly, and I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is he had 2 feet on the basketball court on a breakaway. He is on the court. He's playing defense.
Like, what is that? How is that allowed?
And the thing is, they didn't go to possession because Illinois has possession on the possession arrow. So they just gave Maryland the ball.
Yeah. I don't understand how that is possible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But, Willard's a good coach. I don't know what that was at the end of the game with the not fouling, but
yeah, that was a crazy call. Eric says their free throw shooting has improved this season, has gone along with, which is a good sign. Yeah, I was worried about Ty getting those 2 free throws late, knocked him down, might have stepped over the line. Who cares?
Illinois is they were 67.9 from the free throw line last year. They are now 74.2. That is a huge jump.
Yeah, pretty good. Quackle says, since when can we not be negative on this podcast?
I already answered that.
Oh, sorry. Negativity is fine. Overly negative is a bit much. I mean, we could be Wisconsin right now.
Exactly, which is like the thing. Like Illinois is 5-2 in their last 7. It hasn't been the prettiest. They've had a couple games where they won pretty easily. But guess what? You got to win, especially when the conference just every game is allowed to be so ugly.
Yeah. Alex has a good point. Free throw contests are tougher to watch at times. 50+ free throws were almost as many as shots from the field. Nobody wants to watch that. I think they said it was the 3rd most fouls in the Big Ten in a Big Ten game this year at the end of the game. So,
yep.
What else you want to look at?
There's a lot of comments here. Hang on.
Oh, let me keep going. All right. Julian Reese drives me crazy. It seems like his screens are very rough, and I don't like him. It was weird. Illinois got fouled when he set a screen, and then Julian Reese on the next one where it wasn't a foul. Terrence got knocked on the ground. They called a foul. So again, it goes back to Big Ten officiating being just absolutely brutal. Literally the same 2 plays back to back. You call a foul on one team, and then you call the foul on the other team. What's the average points in the paint for other teams last 7 games? That's got to be a concern. Did you not see Coleman Hawkins' hands tonight, Jeff? Like, he got called for at least 2 fouls where it was clean. He stripped so mmany balls tonight.
Yep. Also, they've played multiple teams in the last 7 games that are primarily better inside the 3-point line. Indiana can't score from 3. Maryland can't score from 3. Michigan can, but they don't. There's a bunch of teams that they've played that aren't very good from outside the arc. So you just look at the style components and the 3-point attempts to field goal attempts. It's like they played a lot of teams that do not and cannot shoot the 3.
Michigan State has a lot of fans in Ann Arbor tonight, sounds like. First Izzo being on the court, now Willard. These coaches need to sit their asses down on the bench. I think Maryland's bench literally got multiple warnings tonight, but never got teed up. And Bratz, we've all seen Shannon do that with the ball going out of bounds. Do you think Shannon could have saved that?
Probably honestly? Not. Probably not. But either way, it doesn't matter. He's on the court.
I agree.
Different chance for Shannon tonight. Interesting. I mean, I did think it was interesting that they kept saying the Maryland PA announcer kept coming on and saying something every time that they would do those chants.
Yeah, they were putting stuff up on the screen. They went a little hard with one of them.
I mean, like, what? I guess is that fair game? I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at it. Either way, guess what? Shannon had 27 and Illinois won the game. So, and Maryland always has an interesting student section when it comes to playing Illinois. Because remember the Brad getting that thing thrown at him or whatever a couple years ago. He mentioned that the other day. It was chicken wing or something thrown at him. So
chicken wing. Oh, sorry.
So yeah, congrats to Maryland student section. You guys did a good job, I guess. Your team lost the game, and it's your fault.
Brad just started as post gamer.
Yeah, I'll also say this. I mean, Robbie Hummel and Jason Benetti were talking during the free throws, so interesting there. We didn't.
I feel like I was telling Heather during the game that it felt like they were pumping in crowd noise, so you couldn't hear the student section. Mm-hmm. Well, because we couldn't understand what they were saying. So,
which you got to go to Werner for that, which he didn't post all of the stuff, but he was posting the one chant that pretty much every student section has used. But either way, guess what? Illinois wins, so take that. What are you gonna do about that?
Eric loves Coleman's hands.
There you go.
Easy. Calm down. I'm just saying inside the paint is a weak spot. I get that, but Dane was in the game tonight, Jeffrey. Do you think Dane did a good job tonight? Because he missed a couple rebounds, gave Maryland a couple easy baskets. Do you think Dane was any better inside than Coleman Hawkins was? Because Coleman popped away at least 3 balls.
I mean, you also have to take into account
on at least 3 balls tonight.
Who the big man is, number 1. Number 2, you're going to give up some stuff in the paint when you're running a 5-out offense and you don't have a big burly 5 that just blocks a lot of shots and can be as physical as he wants with anybody. That's just what it is. And the way that Brad wants to play defense, which is probably should be better in the paint because of that, but Julian Reese is about as hard to guard as any big man in the league. So have fun when Edey has 75 points on March 5th.
They were saying lock him up, Bootzilla says.
Yeah.
I think he had a plan. That's why he was pissed. The out of bounds, the ball going out of bounds. Makes sense. Can we talk about the closing lineup? Very interesting. We went with a smaller lineup. No Goody, no Quincy Guerrier.
Could free throws play a role into why Quincy wasn't in?
Yes, I think that plays a major role.
He was 4 for 5 tonight.
He was 4 for 5, but were you comfortable anytime you went to the line?
Nope.
Okay.
Ty Rogers, by the way, shooting 67.4% from the free throw line.
How many did he miss off the bat, though? Like, what was his number? What is he like? I know that like he was bad, and then like he's been stellar lately.
Yeah, he started the year 0 for 2 in the first 2 games. Then he was 2 for 4. Then he was 4 for 8.
Okay, 50%.
Then he was 7 for 11. No, 7 for 12.
Oh, okay.
Wait, yeah,
it's good math.
11 for 17. 13 for 19. 16 for 23. 17 for 25. 21 for 28. 21 for 29. 23 for 32. 26 for 35. 28 for 39. And then 31. Wait, I'm so lost. He's 31 for 46, and he's 4 for 4 in the last 2 games.
Travis Scott says that was our quickest lineup and couldn't even handle Jameer.
Why'd you say Travis Scott?
I don't know. It says T Scott. I thought it would sound cool on the broadcast that Travis Scott's watching us.
Okay, yeah, I guess it does. Yeah, couldn't handle. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody can handle Jameer. It's a damn shame that they're not going to make the tournament because he's one of the best guards in the country.
Jeffrey says Hawkins actually got help tonight, so that started. They did double. They doubled, and it worked. I know that Reese scored 18 points, but they got them off kilter, and they did that in the first half. Second half was a little different. They went to a zone for a while and got a 3 hit on them, which was bad. So Brad got out of the zone. So Quackle says Goody should not be in the closing lineup. I don't think anybody's going to complain with that.
Yeah.
Jeffrey still bugs the hell out of me that Damask is our best post player.
Because you're stuck in 1956 and you think having a great post player is the most important thing.
I agree. I like Damask went at Dante Scott tonight, and I was terrified. And you know what he did? Put it in the hoop.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything to complain about this game. And I feel like people are still finding a reason to complain about this game. Like, you went on the road to a sellout crowd in a place that Brad Underwood hasn't won at. We haven't won since 2011, is what they showed tonight at Maryland. And he came away with a win. Ethan didn't even think we were going to win. The most positive Illinois fan in the universe.
It's very true.
Thought we were going to go there and lose.
I mean, having a good post player or having a big, great post player would be great. But Damask is a really good post player.
We're not in Kofi era anymore. Like, it's.
I will say that a lot of the top teams in the country do have a really good post player, but still, Damask is also good. He's just smaller. Yeah, I mean, he's 6 for 8, but he had 12 points from the field. So
Julian Reese had 1 offensive rebound, though. Let's look at that. He had 1 offensive rebound. How many does he average a game? 4, 5?
He did score. He did score pretty much every time he touched underneath. But yeah, I mean, he had 12 points from the field.
Having Kofi was dope, though. I feel like I don't feel like that's right. I don't feel like he scored every time he touched underneath. He passed out a lot underneath.
Okay, yeah, but every time he got underneath and went up with it, he's 6 for 8. So
yes, that's fair. But
did Indiana State just lose off the line?
They were up 3. They lost 73-69. They're losing right now to Southern Illinois.
Boy, Indiana State's going to have to win the MVC
Carbondale
tournament. Nobody thinks Carbondale is great. Let me see. Reese had 4 offensive boards against Iowa, 4 against Ohio State, 5 against Rutgers, one against Michigan State. He also had only 2 in the game against Illinois the first time. But yeah, he gets 3 to 4 at least every game pretty much.
I keep hearing cheering behind me, and I'm thinking Michigan's doing something good, and I turn around and it's Michigan State. What's going on?
That was Michigan.
Ann Arbor's dead.
And Brats, it was a sellout because they gave T-shirts. Usual crowd 1,000. Tonight 17,000. It was definitely 1,000 at the Iowa game. I did see somebody share on Twitter that they posted that there were 15,000 fans at that Iowa game, which is absurd. He was 6 of 8. You can't rebound shots that don't go in. He took 8 shots though. Like, are we not happy about that? We forced Jameer Young into 23 shots, and most of them were tough. They were guarding him. Like, I don't know what you guys want. Like, Julian Reese is 6 of 8, great, but we forced Jameer Young into 23 shots, and he made 8 of them. And Julian Reese, a 60% free throw shooter, went 6 of 7 from the line tonight. So take those away, take away 3 of those, scores 15 points. I think you're happy with that.
Yeah, by the way, nobody has scored 85 points against Maryland this year. The most points they've given up.
Top 5 defense.
Yeah. The most points they've given up this year is 79 before this one. And that was a double overtime game against Ohio State. Illinois scored 85.
Brandon says the defense was a step in the right direction, just too many fouls. I don't know if the fouls were necessarily Illinois' fault. I mean, there were too many fouls on both ends. Maryland fouled 25 times. Illinois fouled 22 times. So, looking forward, how deep into the tournament do you think this team gets? 16, 8, 4. The answer is we want to get to the Sweet 16, right? I mean,
I don't label teams, but if I had to put a prediction out there, I think this team's going to get to the Elite 8.
I am tired of guys saying that Illinois is a Final Four team. And it's
like 4 years in a row now.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Just as a fan, I hate it. It's just like every time that Julian Reese went to the line, he was 60% shooter. And then Harmon goes to the line. Oh, he's only missed 4 all year. Like, shut up. I don't want to hear it. Like,
it's not that big of a deal.
Nuts. I think that, I think Elite 8 is a good place to shoot for. Where they're at right now in the bracket, I don't know if I love it. Do you like the bracket? I mean, we might as well talk about it. They're 15th.
Yeah, I'm a little. I would be a little concerned about potentially playing Houston or.
But is that the most comfortable 1 seed you would be feeling, or?
I think
what are your thoughts?
I'd rather play Arizona.
They look like a second weekend team. And that's the problem, Paul, is they haven't been. So
you can look at all you want, but you got to win the ball games.
Brandon says this offense is elite. You think Brad said that tonight?
Hopefully, because they are.
Wesley, there were a decent amount of fouls Illinois committed after they were already beat. Lots of open layups that they reached at the last second.
Yep.
You understand that? That makes sense to you?
Decent amount of fouls Illinois committed after they already beat. Lots of open layups they reached. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we were beat? Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay. Offensive, defensive. Too presumptuous. I hated when Benetti said that right before Harvard shot free throws. I agree, Bootzilla. I definitely would rather play Arizona.
That's what I said. Yeah, I agree.
Jeffrey, bad bracket. Arizona is the bracket we won in.
I agree. I think one thing about
Arizona's we won the 1 seed. Guys, you want to play Arizona?
More than Houston, yeah. More than Houston or UConn.
Are we going to keep going? I'm going to go get some pizza.
A couple minutes here.
All right. You keep going. I'm going to get some pizza.
Yeah, Houston. The reason I don't want to play Houston is because they, get a ton of offensive rebounds. They hold teams to less than 70. Like they have probably 20 of their 25 games they've given up less than 70. In fact, looking at it right now, they've given up 70 plus points twice. And it was an overtime game to Texas and then 78 to Kansas when they lost in Lawrence. So 23 out of 25 games they've held their opponents under 70. They're super athletic. They don't have a lot of length, but they have a lot of weight. Like Jamal Shed, 6'1", 200. LJ Cryer, 6'1", 200. Emmanuel Sharp, 6'3", 205. Damian Dunn, 205. Juwan Roberts, 235. Javier Francis, I guess is his name, 240. Tugler, 230. Like they're big. And I just don't think it would be a good matchup for Illinois. And I'm not discounting Arizona by any means, but I think Illinois would be more likely to be able to guard the combo on the perimeter of Boswell and Love, and then try to figure out some other stuff. Because, Arizona is really, really good, but Illinois can maybe expose some of the stuff defensively. I mean, you look at Arizona defensively, give up 100 against Stanford, 92 to Purdue, 83 to Oregon State, 79 to Colorado. So yeah, I think Illinois offensively would be more likely to be able to put the necessary points up against an Arizona. But the long way to go. Long way to go. If Illinois wins out, maybe they'd be a 1 seed. I mean, who's to say? Definitely not though. Let's see. So much of Shannon's game is driving and drawing contact. He's getting beat up though, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, you got to think he'll be a bit more fresh no matter what going into this year's tournament as opposed to last year. Obviously played the full season essentially last year. Had 6 games off in this one. He hasn't been going to the line a ton since returning, but he has had 4 games out of the 8 that he's played in where he went to the line 10 plus, had 10 plus attempts from the free throw line. But yeah, I definitely think they need him to be healthy going in. Athletic, yeah. I hope they beat Penn State. It's a big game. I mean, look, if Penn State, Illinois is much better than them this year. I would hope they can figure it out and get it done this time. And kind of go in there and take care of business the way they should, because Illinois is a much better team than Penn State. Penn State's got 3 losses in a row. They've lost 5 of 8. Go back even further, they've lost 7 of 10. And they were 7-6 at one point, and they are 5-8 since that point. So Illinois is a better team. They're bigger, they're stronger, faster. This is a Penn State team that struggles to guard inside the 3-point line, 286 in the country and 2-point percentage against, 103rd defensive efficiency this season. So the Penn State matchup, I think, will be a very good one for Illinois. Illinois would score 85 plus in Arizona. I mean, yeah, you look at Arizona's losses against decent teams, they've given up 80 plus. So you take that every day. Illinois could win out. Yeah, no, probably not, but it would be good. Even if they did win out, I'm not sure they would get a 1 seed.
Yeah, I don't think they can get to a 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, they would have 2 wins there, Wisconsin and Purdue. But either way, we cross that bridge when we get there. They would have to win out and win the Big Ten tournament to get a 1 seed.
I mean, if they won out, they beat Purdue. I would say Wisconsin, but that wouldn't matter.
Okay, if they win out and they end up 28-7 and lose in the Big Ten championship, does that get them a 1 seed? Probably. That's 28 wins. But it's not going to happen. Can we get Kansas as a number 1 seed? Yeah, Kansas is not going to be a 1. That's the problem. Kansas is far from a 1, I would say. I don't think it's possible to be a 1 seed and play some of the – Kansas is 7-5 in the conference right now. So they don't really have they don't even have a path to a 1 seed, although they do have, 4 absolutely elite wins. They have 4 wins that are better than maybe anybody outside of Purdue. They beat Tennessee, they beat UConn, they beat Houston, and they beat Baylor. And they beat Kentucky. So that helps them. And they lost Illinois in the exhibition.
I feel like Illinois should beat Tennessee at this point. They lost so many games. That
was an away game.
Yeah.
Neutral court, I could see Illinois beating them.
Yeah.
Saw Clary for Penn State didn't play at Nebraska. Coach said he didn't make the trip. Not sure what's going on, but it would be big if he was out. I mean, I don't think it matters either way, but yeah. He's like their only returning player, it seems, that like played last year. The Penn State roster is like Clary, year 2 at Penn State, Baldwin, VCU transfer, DeMarco Dunn, North Carolina transfer, Jameel Brown, second year at Penn State, didn't really play last year, Zach Hicks, Temple transfer, Kudus Wahab, Georgetown transfer, Nick Kern, VCU transfer, Puff Johnson, North Carolina transfer, Raquandis Mitchell, Kansas City transfer, Demetrius Lilly, didn't play last year, really doesn't play that much this year, second year at Penn State, Leo O'Boyle, who is somehow a real person, shooting at 23% from 3 from Scranton, Pennsylvania, Lafayette transfer, shot 40% last year at Lafayette, and then Favor Air is apparently a person who's played 10-plus minutes in 2 of the last 3 games, Miami transfer. So it's pretty much a completely different roster. So
yeah,
I think Illinois will match up well against Penn State. Wish Ace Ball was on another team. He's very good. Yeah, I mean, it's one guy. It's one guy. It's cool. He is very good defensively, too. I think he was the A-10 player of the year last year. So, yeah, okay, everybody relax. Okay, everybody relax. Yeah, Kentucky. There you go. How about that? God, college basketball is so dumb sometimes. Auburn scored 101 on Wednesday and then scored 59 tonight against Kentucky. Brutal is what we call that in the business. Kentucky, I mean, they needed that one. That's a big win for them. Play a little bit better defensively. So, all right. Last call for the chat.
Yep. We'll send you over to Illini Inquirer.
Are they live?
Where they don't read your comments.
That's right. They just stand there and talk, think that people give a fuck what they have to say.
They look like robots right now.
It's crazy. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. I can't believe Piper does radio. Is he different on radio? Somebody let me know.
I don't know if I've ever heard him talking. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming by.
Seems dry. The way he speaks on there.
Prima donnas. Ouch.
What's the best 4-game stretch? What's the best 4-game stretch of the season this year?
Have we had those?
Is it Missouri to Purdue?
Sure.
Beat Missouri by 24, beat Fairleigh Dickinson by 33, beat Northwestern by 30, lost to Purdue by 5. That's probably the one, right?
Sounds right.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Shannon down to 35% from 3 in the season now.
Did they not take so many they had so many open threes they didn't take? They look scared to take them.
They passed up like 3 looks in the first possession, and then Coleman made one.
Yeah. I was so pissed, and then Coleman, nothing but net. So
Coleman Hawkins shooting 38.5% from deep.
Who hit their upsets today? My upset lost by 30.
Who was yours?
Marquette.
Yeah, that was probably a bad pick.
What was yours? Somebody had, I think Bootzilla had Texas Tech, right?
I had
lost. And
I have
somebody
Ohio
else had
State,
Iowa State losing. Yeah, you got tomorrow. So
okay, I think I did take one for today. I think I said Cincinnati.
Yeah, Bootzilla had Texas Tech over Iowa State.
Or no, wait, maybe mine's tomorrow. I don't know. What did I do?
Yours is tomorrow. You had Ohio State over.
I thought Purdue. I made one for today though, just to do it.
You might have.
I think I picked against Clemson.
Illinois settles, but when the shot is open, they don't take it.
I
agree. Brad will probably says tonight.
I had NC State over Clemson.
Oh, that's right. Marquette looks so beatable. I think we want them again. That's fair.
It's Marquette.
Ethan had Iowa over Wisconsin. Absolutely not. He did not.
Maybe I did. Maybe I
No,
did.
he didn't. No, he didn't. Don't give him that. Wyatt, thanks.
I think
Zilla
I did.
said, never mind. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
NC State.
There's zero chance you picked Iowa over Wisconsin.
I might have. NC State is down 5 with 12 minutes to go. Ohio State is beating Purdue tomorrow. Lock it in. No, lock it in.
I'll give you 2-1 odds.
Nope, lock it in.
I'll give you 3-1 odds.
Lock it in.
I'll give you 3-1 odds.
Nope.
4-1.
Nope.
You have zero confidence.
Devin.
Jeffrey nailed his. You Connecticut. Kentucky. We gotta stop. Kentucky over Auburn. Good job. I think Purdue wins by 20 plus. I agree.
Box score's gone.
How was Wisconsin a top 16 seed overall right now, according to CBS?
They have like 11 wins in the first 2 quads. That's literally the only reason.
Yeah, that's why they were. I mean, Lenardi had them ahead of Illinois. So
I thought they were going to have them ahead of Illinois.
And T3, I don't know. He pops up in my Twitter feed, had them over Illinois, and somebody questioned it. He had a very good point. So if you are on Twitter, go look up T3 brackets, and he breaks it down why Wisconsin currently was ahead of Illinois like a week ago.
But I think what's bullshit.
He said by the end of the season it wouldn't be that way, but currently that's how it was. So.
The bullshit with the system, though, is that Wisconsin has 11 wins against the top 2 quads, but they don't have any quad 3 or 4 losses. But it's like they lost at Michigan, at Rutgers. Like those, come on, those are objectively.
How's Michigan not a quad 3?
That's the problem with the system. If you play Michigan at home, or if you go on the road and play at Michigan, it's going to be a quad 2, which is just it's insane to me.
Yeah, stiffer competition is Wisconsin's problem compared to earlier season. Yeah, their schedule definitely got harder. Michigan should be a quad 4.
Wisconsin
should be like a NJIA game.
I hate to break it to everybody, but from about November 10th to December 9th, I would say Wisconsin had about as hard of a schedule as almost anybody. They played Tennessee. They played at Providence. They played neutrals against Virginia and SMU, who are 2 decent teams. They played Marquette. They played Michigan State, and they played Arizona. So they went through that stretch and went 7-3. I just think they're hitting a weird spot where some of their offensive players are not contributing. They
AJ
lost
Storrs kind of percentage-wise has fell off, I feel. Percentage-wise.
Yeah, I mean, he was 8 for 18 from the field today. Maybe him shooting less shots is better. I mean, he took 22 shots in a loss to Nebraska. He took 15 in a loss to Purdue. He took 14 in a loss to Michigan, 16 in a loss to Rutgers. Only 9 they beat Ohio State, and then 18 in a loss to Iowa. So maybe him shooting a little bit less is better. I mean, it's just like offensively, like
I feel like them having to fully rely on him is a problem. And then I think Wall fouled out tonight. Today. And so that just kind of ruined them because Wall actually was playing well this game.
Yeah, 5 for 8 from the field, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, only 22 minutes for him. Yeah, they didn't play that badly. They just, I just think they didn't make enough shots.
No,
they made 30 shots. Iowa made 30 shots, but Iowa made 5 more free throws, and that's the game.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys. Like, subscribe, do all the things for us, please. We appreciate you. Run over to Illini Inquirer and just spam Illini Basketball Podcast in their chat.
That's too much.
We'd appreciate that. And we will see you not live for episode 200.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of work, which I'm realizing now. I wish maybe I wasn't doing this, but we're doing it. Okay. We're doing it.
I got to go get a cake. When are we doing that? Tomorrow? I got to go get a cake or something.
Yeah. We got to do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also need to figure out, I guess we could just record it from the watch party setup.
Yeah.
It's a little cold now. I thought it might be warm by the time we did this because we could have done it.
We were going to go outside.
Yeah, maybe.
By the basketball hoop.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. We'll figure that out. You guys keep coming back. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I'll have it up. I'll have 200 up before the game Wednesday, maybe up Monday. I don't know. We'll see. But watch party Wednesday, we'll see probably. Yeah, likely. 88% chance. So we'll see everybody next time.